The call from my own number. A true horror story. This happened to me in 2020 when I was living alone in a small apartment in Seattle. It was a normal night. Around 11:30 p.m., I was sitting on the couch watching YouTube and scrolling through my phone. Nothing unusual. Nothing scary. Until my phone rang. At first, I didn't even look at the screen. I just reached for the phone. But when I glanced down at the caller ID, my stomach dropped. The screen showed something impossible. Incoming call, me. My own phone number was calling me. I stared at the screen for a few seconds. Maybe it was a glitch. Maybe some weird phone error. But curiosity got the better of me. So I answered the call. Hello. For a moment there was only silence. Then I heard breathing. Slow breathing. On the other end of the line. Hello, I said again. The breathing continued. Then a voice spoke. It was my voice. But the tone was different. Lower. Colder. And it said something that made my heart stop. Don't go to sleep tonight. The call ended immediately. I sat there staring at my phone. My hands were shaking. Because I knew that voice. It sounded exactly like me. I checked the call log. The number really was my own. But that shouldn't be possible. Phones can't call themselves. I tried calling the number back. But it just rang normally. My own phone in my hand started vibrating. No strange voice. No breathing. Just a normal call. I tried to convince myself it was some kind of prank. Maybe someone spoofed my number. But the message stuck in my mind. Don't go to sleep tonight. Eventually midnight passed. Then 1 a.m. Nothing happened. No strange noises. No more calls. By 2 a.m. I was exhausted. I almost ignored the warning and went to bed. But something stopped me. That strange voice. My voice. So instead of sleeping, I stayed on the couch, watching TV quietly. Around 3:17 a.m. I heard something. A sound coming from the hallway outside my apartment. A key turning. My heart instantly started racing. Because I lived alone. No one else had a key. The door slowly opened. Just slightly. Enough to create a thin crack. And someone stepped inside. I stayed completely still on the couch. Barely breathing. Watching the hallway. A shadow moved across the floor. Then I heard footsteps. Walking slowly through my apartment. The person walked past the bedroom door. Then stopped. Right outside my bedroom. The place where I would have been sleeping. A few seconds passed. Then I heard something terrifying. A whisper. Where is he? The footsteps began searching the apartment. Opening doors. Checking rooms. If I had gone to sleep, that person would have found me in bed. Eventually, the footsteps moved back toward the door. And the stranger left. Quietly. Like they had never been there. I never found out who broke into my apartment that night. The police couldn't find any fingerprints. No security cameras captured anything. But one thing still scares me. Something I realized the next morning. When I checked my phone again. The call from my number had disappeared. Like it had never happened. But if I hadn't received that warning, I would have been asleep in my bed. Exactly where the stranger was looking. And sometimes I still wonder something. If that call really was from my number, then who was the one who warned me? The call from my own number. Story 2, the second call. For weeks after that night, I tried to forget what happened. I told myself it was probably just a coincidence. Maybe someone broke into the wrong apartment. Maybe the phone call was just a weird glitch. But deep down, I knew that wasn't true, because the voice on the phone sounded exactly like me. About 3 weeks later, something strange happened again. I was at work. Around 4:15 p.m., my phone vibrated in my pocket. I looked at the screen and instantly felt my stomach drop. The caller ID showed the same thing as before. Incoming call, me. My hands started shaking. For a moment, I considered ignoring it. But curiosity won again. So I answered. Hello. Silence. Just like before. Then the same breathing. Slow. Heavy. And then my voice spoke again. Leave work now. I froze. What? Leave the building, the voice repeated. The call ended immediately. I stared at my phone. That warning sounded urgent, but I had no idea why. Still, after what happened last time, I decided to listen. I packed my things and left the office building. Just 5 minutes later, something happened that made my legs go weak. A loud explosion. The entire building behind me shook. Glass shattered from several windows. People started running out of the entrance. Smoke was pouring from the first floor. Later, we found out what happened. A gas pipe in the basement had ruptured. It caused a small explosion and fire. Several offices were damaged. But the strange thing was the timing. If I had stayed inside for just a few more minutes, I would have been exactly above the explosion. That night, I sat in my apartment trying to understand what was happening. The mysterious calls had now warned me twice. Once about the intruder, and once about the explosion. Someone was protecting me. But the question remained. Who? 3 days later, I finally got an answer. Or at least, something close to one. At 2:12 a.m. my phone rang again. The same caller ID. Incoming call, me. This time I answered immediately. Who are you? I demanded. The breathing returned. But this time, the voice sounded different. Weaker. Listen carefully, the voice said. You don't have much time. My heart started pounding. What do you mean? Then the voice said something that made my blood run cold. Someone else has your number. The line went silent for a moment. Then the voice whispered one final sentence. Next time, don't answer. The call ended. I sat there in complete silence, trying to understand what that meant. Someone else had my number. That made no sense. But then my phone suddenly rang again. Immediately, just seconds after the call ended, I slowly looked down at the screen and felt a deep chill run through my body. Because the caller ID didn't say me this time. It said something else. Incoming call, unknown. And from the speaker, before I even answered, I could already hear breathing. The call from my own number. Story 3, the other caller. My phone kept ringing. The screen showed something new this time. Incoming call, unknown. But the strange part was the sound coming from the speaker. Even before I answered, I could already hear breathing. Slow, heavy breathing. My hands started shaking. Because just seconds earlier, the voice that sounded like me had warned me. Next time, don't answer. And now my phone was ringing again. From someone else. For a moment, I just stared at the screen. The call kept ringing. Then finally, I answered. Hello. Silence. Just the breathing again. But this breathing felt different. More aggressive. Like the person on the other side was angry. Then a voice spoke, and the moment I heard it, my blood ran cold, because the voice also sounded like me. But it wasn't the same one from before. This one sounded darker, almost excited. "Why didn't you go to sleep that night?" the voice asked. My heart started pounding. "How do you know about that?" I asked. The voice chuckled softly. "Because I was there." A chill ran down my spine. "You were the one in my apartment." "Yes," the voice replied calmly. "I had the key." My entire body froze. "But you weren't supposed to be awake." I felt sick. The stranger had expected to find me sleeping in my bed, exactly where the first caller warned me not to be. Suddenly, something terrible became clear. There were two voices, two callers, both using my number. One warning me, and one hunting me. "Who are you?" I whispered. The voice laughed again, then said something that made my hands go numb. "I'm you." The line went quiet. Then the voice spoke again. "Just not from your time." My mind struggled to process that. "What are you talking about?" "You'll understand soon," the voice said. "Because tonight I finally succeed." The call ended. I sat there staring at my phone in silence. Two versions of my voice. One trying to save me. One trying to kill me. And suddenly something terrifying crossed my mind. What if the first caller, the one warning me, was also me, just from the future, trying to stop whatever the other version of me was planning? That thought kept spinning in my head, until my phone buzzed again. Another message appeared. Unknown message. I opened it slowly. Inside was a photo. The picture showed my apartment bedroom. My bed, the same place where I would normally be sleeping. But someone was standing beside the bed, holding something in their hand. A knife. And when I zoomed in on the face, my heart nearly stopped. Because the person in the photo looked exactly like me.